Well, good Thursday morning, my friends. MLive Chief Meteorologist Mark Torregrossa here with the MLive Morning Weather Update. And I kind of feel like the lonely Maytag repairman. Remember him? He just kind of sat on the washing machine waiting for people to call in, supposedly, because he didn't need any repairs. I'm the lonely, no weather out there meteorologist for the most part, but not complaining. I usually plan on a section of weather like this sometime in September or early October, which means that it can be some really nice weather for a lot of folks, and it is. We've had some rain. We definitely need some rain. Not everybody has had a good rain, but there are a lot of places now that are set for a week or so on rainfall. Here's the radar. And what I do want to say is that at the moment, the warm Great Lakes and the somewhat cooler upper atmosphere seem to be making some lake effect showers that don't necessarily show up on the radar. You can see a plume of rain coming off of Saginaw Bay into Saginaw County. Also, around the Traverse City area, there are some patches of drizzle, and maybe even Ludington, Manistee, Frankfort too, and even the Sunrise side. But the storm system is moving off, and Lisa Collins from Saginaw Township asks, will we see sunshine today? And we will. There's the main storm now, the brighter, whiter clouds starting to head off. We have a lot of low-level clouds. We have some breaks in those low clouds, and we'll see more and more breaks, eventually probably getting to at least partly sunny to at times mostly sunny sky for most of us today. So that means we can talk about it mostly being a dry day. Again, these spotty little, 15-minute, couple of hundredths showers will be possible. Here's the radar forecast, so you can see how this model even does pretty well, bringing some showers in off of Saginaw Bay into the Saginaw area, even down toward the Flint area. This is this afternoon. This is 5 o'clock this evening. So I think most of you can assume you're going to be dry, maybe not in the thumb, maybe not at the base of Grand Traverse Bay, maybe not in the far southwest corner right along the shoreline. And that would just be, hit and miss showers at that. Now we're into Friday. We're still in an atmosphere that I can't rule out a shower, but Friday should be dry. And this model, even on Friday, middle of the night, wants to take some showers coming in from the south, a sign that the upper air has switched from a northeast flow to a southwest flow, and that's important for the weekend. So, hey, I cut you short of a bunch of stuff here. Well, let's look at the temperatures. Today we'll call it about 70 degrees. Tomorrow we jump back to maybe 75 to 77 if you have the full sunshine, maybe a little cooler in the north up around Indian River and Petoskey and Gaylord in the upper 60s. Here's Saturday, upper 70s south half, low 70s north half. Here's Sunday, 80 degrees in Grand Rapids, Kalamazoo, and Lansing, and close to Ann Arbor. Colin Schwartz, do I have a thought on what the winter is going to look like? I don't really. I think it's going to be, fairly, quote-unquote, normal, if there is such a beast. The normal winter now, since we use 30 years of climate data, the normal winter has been modified upward on temperature, and not really so much modified downward on snowfall, although I think it should be. Here's Monday in the low 80s. Tuesday still in the 70s. Wednesday, this wants to indicate maybe a northeast wind. I don't know why we would get a northeast wind and cool down in the 60s for a couple of days with a ridge building. And then Friday and then next Saturday, October 4th, October 5th in the 70s, 6th, 70s, 7th, 8th, 9th. I'll show you the extended here in just a second. So here's the upper airflow. I was watching the Weather Channel this morning, and I was watching my buddy Jim Cantori. You know, he's everybody's buddy in weather, except if he shows up in your town on a storm chase. Then you're like, we better evacuate because we don't want to see him here. In fact, there's some places in Florida that did some fun things where they made out like faces of Jim Cantori and a line through it, just saying, we don't want you here because that means there's a storm coming. Well, anyways, he had a good word, and I like it. We look at the European. We look at what's in meteorology called the deterministic mode of the European. I like to call it the single best set of starting circumstances, the single best set of equations that they would use. He called it operational, and that's right, the operational version versus the ensemble. And you know the ensemble, he was even talking about that, 50 iterations. So where I'm going with this is we're going to just look at the ensemble of the upper airflow off of the European, and you'll see it is warm. We continue to look for a bend in the jet stream, a change. Let's see, Plaisir. I'm heading to do some backpacking just west of Marquette on Friday. This is one of those places that like to get some of the non-radar showers. By Friday, it will be over because by Friday we go to not a lake effect type wind. So you should be excellent. Jen C says, lived in Florida for 30 years. We never wanted to see Jim Cantori there. Carmelita Tiffany, will those tropical storms dancing around, will they affect us? Somewhat. And I write about this in the opposite way. Usually it blows up a ridge, and you'll see that here. So this is the upper airflow. This is Friday. We've got the trough working off, the ridging coming in. The next storm system is too far north to really affect us. It's up around Hudson Bay. And then here comes the ridge. This is Sunday morning, Sunday afternoon, Sunday evening, meaning the upper air is expanded, warmer than normal. There you see what's Umberto probably. This is next Tuesday, September 30th. This is a ridge, October 1st and October 2nd. Again, warmer than normal atmosphere. Then when we start to get out this far, the ensembles look, a little more watered down, but we can still see features, and we still see that it's projecting the atmosphere warmer than normal. And now we're out to October 10th, and it has a slight ridge to our west, us in a little bit of a northwest flow, but not a cold trough. And the experts at the Climate Prediction Center kind of agree. Just about all of the information, all of the model data we have showing this. So we'll keep looking for a change to true fall weather. Hey, good morning, Deb Locke. Paul Fournier, when will we see a break in the high humidity? Let's go back to that after this. So 6 to 10 day, strong chance warmer than normal. Strong chance drier than normal. 8 to 14 day. Look, the entire country is painted in some shade of orange or red, and we continue to be dry. And we don't get our next 3 to 4 week forecast until tomorrow. We'll look at that. And this is the old one from last week. It tried to indicate there might be a cool down October 4th to 17th. I think we'll see actually the opposite in the new extended forecast. That was a couple of day blip that it was showing, and then it went away. I think we'll probably see it indicate some sort of warmer than normal temperatures into mid-October. Let's see, we had Paul Fournier asked about humidity. So let's go in and take a look at the dew point. Let's see here. We don't really have a change in the air mass coming, so I'm not so sure that we will get really much reduction. So here's your dew point forecast. Remember, 60s feels humid now, 50s dry. So this is Friday. We're mid 50s to near 60 on dew points. And we probably, since there won't be much of a exchange of air, this is Sunday, dew points in low 60s. We're going to probably stay fairly humid, which is going to be another factor that makes it feel warmer. And then this is that backdoor cold front on Wednesday, bringing the dew points down into the 40s and even 30s. And that would be interesting because that would be very, very dry air. So let's call it a pretty much dry forecast. We're going to shake the clouds today, and then we're going to go into a really nice weekend. Dare I say, if you like sunshine, if you like temperatures in the 70s to near 80 degrees and not much wind, great looking weekend on the way. I'm MLive Chief Meteorologist Mark Torregrossa. I truly appreciate you joining me this morning. If you can tell your friends how you get the weather, how you get this update right now, you know, I'm realistic. Whether your want for weather information is a lot of times really low when there's not much weather around, unless unless your occupation relies on the weather, like construction or pouring concrete, farming, stuff like that. A lot of occupations rely on weather. But once we get into the snowstorms and the ice storms and the wind storms in November and all of the storms of the next 6 months, then I know you're wanting to know a lot about the weather. So, hey, thanks for joining me. I'm MLive Chief Meteorologist Mark Torregrossa. Have yourselves a great Thursday. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.